This is Procurement Spectrum. Microsoft just changed how you pay for your most important software, and most renewal teams have not noticed yet. Let me show you the line that broke the old model. Start with 1 cent. That is the price of a single Copilot Credit, the new currency Microsoft uses to charge for its most capable AI. 1 cent is trivial on its own. The problem is what it replaces. For the first time, a Microsoft 365 line moves with how hard your people use it. A seat you could forecast has become a meter you cannot, and if your renewal is built on a flat seat count, it is already out of date. Which raises the question this whole briefing is built to answer. When your software stops billing by the seat and starts billing by the task, how do you budget for a number you can no longer count in advance? The answer is not the new price tag everyone argues about. It sits one layer underneath. So let us walk the evidence one piece at a time. Here is the headline everyone sees first. On the 1st of May, Microsoft put a new tier on sale called E7, the Frontier Suite. It lists at $99 per user per month with Teams, or $90.45 without. This is the first new enterprise tier in over a decade, since E5 arrived in 2015. It wraps E5, Copilot, the Entra Suite, and Agent 365 into a single invoice line. So what are you actually buying? E7 is one SKU wrapped around 4 products you could buy on their own. E5, the core productivity and security suite, $60 and July prices. Microsoft 365 Copilot, the AI layer, another $30. The Entra Suite, which secures how people reach apps and the internet, $12. And Agent 365, the governance layer for AI agents, $15. Add the parts and you reach $117. E7 sells for $99, so the bundle saves you something, but hold that number because it is thinner than it looks. Now here is the first crack. Microsoft markets that saving as about 15% off the parts. Gartner's independent read is less flattering. It puts the E7 discount at 13.2%, and that is below the 16.4% on E5 and below E3 too. The biggest bundle carries the smallest reward, which is the reverse of what volume buyers expect. That gap is a negotiating gift, and the price you should judge depends entirely on where you start. Against bare E5, E7 adds $39 a seat. That sounds like a lot. But if you already run E5 with Copilot, around $90, E7 adds just $9. And that $9 buys the Entra Suite and Agent 365. Same tier, wildly different maths, depending on your real starting point. But the tier is not the story. Underneath E7 sits a second cost layer that behaves nothing like a subscription. It behaves like cloud compute. The first feature built this way is Copilot Credit, an agentic system that runs long, multi-step tasks from start to finish. It went live in June. It needs a paid Copilot license, and then it meters each task on top with no bundled credit allowance. Every task draws credits from your account. So what does one task cost? Microsoft prices each Credit task from 4 inputs: the model, the context it pulls in, the tools it calls, and how long it runs. In its own estimator, a light task runs about 125 credits, a medium task about 500, and a heavy task around 2,500 credits, $25 on the top model. Microsoft publishes the mechanics, but it does not publish a fixed price per task, so you cannot look it up. You have to model it. Here is why that matters. Take 1,000 seats with a fixed Copilot seat cost of $360,000 a year and change only how widely Credit is used. Low adoption, 200 users, and the all-in cost is about $428,000. Expected adoption, 400 users, and it climbs to $588,000. High adoption, 700 users, and it reaches nearly 1 million. The variable credit bill has gone from 1/5 of the seat cost to nearly twice it. Nothing changed but usage. That is the swing you now have to govern. And the free on-ramp is closing behind you. In May, Microsoft withdrew free Copilot Chat from the Office apps for users without a paid license. Per notices reported by licensing specialists, organizations over 2,000 users lost it in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote. The planning point is simple. If your people need AI grounded in your own data, that is now a paid $30 seat. Budget for it on purpose, rather than discover it at renewal. So is E7 worth it? The independent view is blunt. A rule of thumb runs through the analyst commentary. Below roughly 30 to 40% active Copilot use, E7's per seat economics are hard to justify. And that bar is high, because Microsoft has around 450 million commercial users and only about 15 million paying for Copilot, 3% of the base. For most estates, blanket E7 is a bet on adoption that has not happened yet. And here is your leverage. The AI layer inside E7 is the contestable part, and a benchmark quote gives you real room even if you stay with Microsoft. Copilot lists at $30 a seat. Google's Gemini enterprise lists from 30 to 50 or more. Anthropic's Claude Enterprise is 20 a seat plus usage. And crucially, Agent 365 can govern rival agents, including those on AWS and Google, so this is rarely all or nothing. A live competitor quote is the cheapest negotiating tool you have. So what do you actually do about it? 4 moves before you sign anything. 1. Audit the estate first. Most organizations carry 15 to 30% of their licenses unused, and you cannot negotiate well from an estate you do not understand. 2. Build a 2-layer cost model. The fixed seats plus a capped credit budget shown as low, expected and high, not a single hopeful figure. 3. Cap before you enable. Set tenant, group and users spending limits on CAWRK, switch on alerts, and pull a real cost per task with the cost command before anyone turns it on. 4. Segment, do not blanket. E3 as the baseline, E5 for the security and compliance roles, and E7 only for the people with a real agentic use case. Right size to the role, not the organization. And time the deal around the calendar, because 2 dates frame this whole decision. Lock your pricing ahead of the 1st of July rise, and weigh the CSP promotion, which takes the top tier to about $84 before it closes on the 31st of December. Miss those windows and you pay list on both layers. Every briefing ends the same way, with the Spectrum Scorecard, 4 dials on where this really stands. The bundle discount, thin and thinner than the ladder below it. The cost model, variable now, a meter you must forecast and cap. Buyer leverage, real, if you carry a competitor quote and Microsoft's own 3% adoption into the room. Which leaves one decision, do not blanket, segment, buy E7 for the few who will use it and hold the line for everyone else. Teams that treat E7 as a seat renewal will pay bundle price for parts their people never use. Teams that separate the fixed cost from the meter, size to the role, and cap the credits before day one will come out ahead. The full research report is free at procurementspectrum.com. Subscribe for the next briefing, and we will see you there.